Have you ever felt thrown into a storm without warning? Sometimes life falls apart not because you're weak, but because life was never fair to begin with. And yet, in the darkest hours, your hidden strength begins to awaken. Life isn't fair.
It never has been, and it never will be. At some point, you're going to fall. You're going to feel like everything is collapsing, as if you have no strength left to keep going. There will be days when fear freezes you and doubt eats you alive.
From the inside, but listen closely, inside you lies a strength you've never tapped into before, a power that only emerges when you're pushed to the edge. The Stoics understood this deeply. Pain is not the enemy. It's the harshest teacher. The real question is, will you let pain break you, or will you grow stronger because of it? I'm not talking about spilled coffee or a missed bus. You and I both know there are much heavier blows, like betrayal from someone you trusted, or when life takes away a loved one without warning. Those moments that knock the wind out of you, leaving you breathless and numb. But pain is not the end of the road. The Stoics knew that suffering is an unavoidable part of life, but they also believed that inside every storm lies an opportunity to become stronger. In this video, I'll share 10 powerful Stoic lessons that will help you face your hardest moments with the strength of those who've endured the unimaginable. But before that, let me tell you a story. A real story. One that hurts, but leaves a lesson you'll carry for life. This is the story of Pedro, a man who lived a calm, stable, almost boring life. A job he didn't love but paid the bills. A family he spent Sundays with. A routine that felt safe and predictable. Until one night, a phone call shattered everything. His younger brother, his best friend, had died in an accident, just like that. No warning. No goodbye, and in that moment, Pedro's entire world crumbled. What happened next? How did Pedro rise from the ashes of his loss? The answer begins with an unexpected sentence from his father. Pedro realized he could choose to let the pain crush him or use it as a tool to rebuild. And you too have that choice. Because what comes next are 10 Stoic lessons that have helped thousands navigate through their darkest times. If you truly apply them, I promise your perspective on adversity will never be the same. Before we dive in, if you've found value in this content, consider subscribing and becoming an exclusive member to unlock special benefits. And now ask yourself this. What pain are you still holding on to? What wound are you reopening in your mind over and over? Today is the day you take the first step. Make a commitment and write in the comments. Today I let go of the pain, or just type I Stoic. That way, we know you're walking this journey with us. Lesson 1. You are not special. We all lose something. I know this isn't what you want to hear, but we're not here to sugarcoat reality. None of us is so special that the universe will shield us from pain. No cosmic force guarantees things will always go our way. Sooner or later, you will lose someone, an opportunity, a dream, or even a piece of yourself. And you know what? That's okay. That's how life works. I'm not here to discourage you. Quite the opposite. I'll want to wake you up, to help you accept the world as it is, so you can face it head on. Because the moment you stop expecting life to be fair and you accept loss as part of the journey, you become unstoppable. The problem is, we were taught to believe that doing everything right means everything will go right. That life is a perfect equation. Study, work hard, be kind, and happiness will follow. But life doesn't work like that. You can give it everything and still lose. You can love deeply and still be left behind. You can plan perfectly and still watch it all fall apart. But what matters is not what you lose, it's how you respond to it. The Stoics knew this better than anyone. Epictetus said, "Do not seek for events to happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do, and you will go on well." Picture a sailor, not one who's only known calm waters, but one who has weathered storms. He doesn't panic when the winds howl or the waves rise. He adjusts the sails. He adapts. He knows he can't control the sea, but he can control how he faces it. Life is exactly the same. If you spend your days expecting everything to go smoothly, the moment a storm comes, and it will, you'll sink. But if you accept that the waves are part of the journey, you'll be ready to navigate them without fear. Look at those you admire. Great leaders, artists, philosophers. None of them reached greatness without setbacks, rejection, or tragedy. The difference between them and the ones who gave up: they never thought the world owed them anything. They understood that loss is part of the game. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most powerful emperors in history, knew this well. He lost his wife, many of his children, fought wars, endured betrayals and plagues. He could have given in. Instead, he wrote in Meditations, "Stop wasting time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." That's what sets Stoics apart. They don't complain. They don't wait for the world to change. They face it, accept it, and move forward. Now let me ask you, will you keep seeing suffering as injustice, or will you accept it as life itself? The next time life takes something from you, the next time things fall apart, remember this: you are not the only one in pain, but only you decide what to do with that pain. You can let it break you, or you can let it forge you. And that brings us to lesson 2. Complaining is an invisible shackle, and you hold the key. We just explored how pain can forge strength. Now it's time to confront a silent enemy that has held you back for years: the habit of complaining. At first, complaining brings a strange sense of relief, as if by voicing our frustration, the world will magically shift in our favor. A sense of poetic justice we secretly hope for. But here's the trap. Complaining changes nothing. All it does is bind you tighter. And worse, the more you do it, the weaker you become. How can you face life's storms if you spend your days lamenting instead of strengthening your core? The Stoics saw through this centuries ago. To them, complaining about life was as absurd as yelling at the ocean for having waves. Life doesn't bend to our expectations. Frustration only arises when we resist accepting life as it is. Epictetus said it best: "It's not what happens to you that harms you, but how you interpret it." The difference between suffering and mental peace isn't in what you face, but in how you respond. You can choose to see every obstacle as injustice, or you can use them to grow stronger. You can fuel complaint, or you can fuel action. And science now supports what the Stoics already knew. Psychology shows that chronic complaining wires your brain to look for negativity. Like a radio locked on a bad frequency, your mind becomes tuned into disappointment. You don't need to imagine this. We all know someone who lives this way. The kind of person who starts their day with, "Ugh, Monday again," then complains about the rain, then ends the day saying, "My life is a mess." Their attitude changes nothing, but their perception becomes clouded. They become blind to the good because they're too busy searching for the bad. And when real hardship hits, they collapse, unprepared, and it goes beyond the mind. Neuroscience has found that repeated complaining raises cortisol, your stress hormone. The more you complain, the more stressed you feel. The more stress you feel, the more you complain. It's a vicious cycle. Now picture the opposite. The most resilient people you know, they don't feed their pain with words. They don't see complaining as an option. They treat it as one more obstacle to overcome. Life will hit you, often without warning, but complaining won't stop it. Taking control of your language, shifting focus from grievance to action, that is your way out of the cage. So how do you break the chain? Here are 3 practical steps to begin right now. Step 1, replace complaints with powerful questions. Instead of saying, "I hate my job," ask, "What can I do today to move toward a better one?" Complaints keep you stuck. Questions move you forward. Step 2, speak like someone in control. Language shapes reality. Say, "This is hard, but I'll find a way." Change. "I have to do this" to "I choose to do this." It might seem small, but your brain hears it as empowerment, not obligation. Step 3. Surround yourself with people who don't complain. Emotions are contagious. Spend time with those who seek solutions, not just problems, and your mindset will start shifting, often without you realizing. Remember this: each complaint tightens the chain. Each act, each shift in language loosens it. Complaint is an invisible shackle, and you hold the key. Now let's move forward to lesson 3, where you'll face one of life's ultimate truths head-on. When you stop complaining and begin to live with awareness, you'll encounter a deeper truth. Everything that begins must end. All life must come to its conclusion. Everything that exists is destined to pass. This is the unbreakable law of nature. The tallest tree in the forest, once a shelter through storms, will someday fall. The mighty river carving through mountains will one day run dry. Seasons shift. Stars explode. Oceans reshape. Nothing is eternal. And no one is shocked by this. No one mourns a fallen tree with outrage. No one calls the withering of a flower unfair. So why is it so hard for us to accept the end when it comes to ourselves or to those we love? The Stoics understood, resisting the inevitable only brings pain. This isn't pessimism, it's clarity. It's seeing life with open eyes. Epictetus reminded us that life's impermanence isn't something to fear, but to comprehend. Clinging desperately to what must one day fade only makes us prisoners of anguish. That's why the Stoics practiced memento mori, Latin for remember that you will die. Harsh as it sounds, it's a liberating reminder. Because when you truly understand that everything can end at any moment, that's when you truly begin to live. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, wrote in Meditations, "Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Time slips away. While you live, while it is possible, be good." Think about this. If you only had 24 hours left, would you still complain about minor annoyances? Would you still delay the things that matter? The end isn't the enemy. The real enemy is wasting life on distractions and worry. Wake up. Stop living as if you have all the time in the world. If you love someone, tell them now. If something has long called to you, do it today. Don't wait for the perfect moment. The end will come before you realize it. Accepting that everything
Ends isn't defeat. It's awareness. It's not about fearing death. It's about understanding it as part of life's natural cycle. And once you do, it loses its grip on you. This isn't just theory.
Think about those who've stared death in the face and returned. Survivors of illness, accidents, or near-death experiences. They never lived the same way again. They stop sweating the small stuff. They focus on what truly matters, they embrace. Life with new intensity. Do you really need to wait for a moment like that to open your eyes? Here's how. Live like the Stoics taught. Live with intention. Don't waste time. Do what truly matters. Ask yourself each morning, if today were my last, would I be proud of how I'm living it? Don't delay love or important words. Tell people you love them while they're still here. Because one day, they won't be. And when that day comes, only what you said and did will remain. And perhaps the hardest part, but just as vital. Stop fearing the end. Use it as fuel. Instead of hiding from the truth that all things end, embrace it. Let it drive you to act, to love, to live fully. Life's fleeting nature is not the problem. The problem is not having truly lived, because, my friend, believe me, the end will come. But if you live like a true Stoic, when it does, it won't find you afraid. It will find you at peace. And when you've grasped that, you'll be ready for the next truth. Nothing is as bad as it seems inside your mind. Once you accept that everything ends and learn to live fully, you start to realize something even deeper. Most things aren't as bad as your mind makes them seem. Think back to something that kept you awake at night a year ago. Something that at the time felt like the end of your world. What happened? You're still here. Still breathing, still moving forward. And if you could have seen that problem from a higher perspective, you'd have realized it wasn't as bad as it seemed. Marcus Aurelius said it clearly. If something external disturbs you, the problem lies not in the thing itself, but in your interpretation of it. And you can change that at any moment. Imagine you're on a flight, you feel a slight tremor. The plane shakes a bit, but everyone remains calm. Yet in your head, the disaster movie begins. Something's wrong. Are we going to crash? Is this the end? In reality, it's just turbulence, normal, routine. But in your mind, it becomes a catastrophe. That's how the mind works. It takes a small tremble and turns it into a free fall, and life is no different. You lose a job and suddenly imagine yourself homeless. You lose someone and feel like you'll never recover. You fail once and think you're incapable of succeeding at anything, but time passes and you look back and realize it wasn't the end. In fact, sometimes those moments were blessings in disguise. I've been there, twice in particular. Once, when I lost a job I truly cared about, I felt hopeless, like I had failed forever. And once, when I ended a long-term relationship, I felt hollow, as if everything I built had crumbled. I spent days rehashing every detail, searching for what went wrong. The pain was deep and real, but in both cases my mind exaggerated the pain. It turned it into something much bigger than it was. With time and Stoic philosophy, I learned every crisis is temporary, every hardship brings a lesson. What feels unbearable today will simply be a memory tomorrow. And that changed everything, not just those situations, but how I now face all difficult moments. Because now I know nothing is ever as bad as it feels in the moment. If you feel overwhelmed right now, here are 3 techniques that helped me through my hardest times. Change the questions you ask yourself. Don't ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Ask, "How can I face this?" The first keeps you stuck. The second empowers you. Use the 5-year rule. Ask yourself, will this matter in 5 years? 90% of the time, the answer is no. And just like that, the burden lifts. Create mental distance. Imagine watching yourself from above, like an observer. Detach from emotion. See the situation logically. you'll think more clearly, my friend. Whatever is happening, it's bigger in your head than in reality. What feels unbearable now will soon be just a part of your story. This isn't the end. It's just temporary turbulence. And now let's move into a higher state of strength. Becoming anti-fragile, not just unbreakable, but stronger after every blow. Once you understand that hardship is often temporary turbulence, a bigger question arises: can I become so strong that nothing can break me? The answer lies in becoming anti-fragile, not just able to endure, but able to grow through adversity. Fragile people view adversity as a curse. Resilient people survive it, but don't always grow from it. But anti-fragile people? They use adversity to their advantage. They face it, learn from it, and transform it into their greatest teacher. Every failure, every blow, every moment of pain is raw material used to forge a stronger version of yourself. Think of how a sword is forged, not with gentleness, but through fire, repeated hammering, and relentless pressure. Without this process, the metal stays weak and soft. You are no different. If every hit life gives you makes you weaker, eventually you'll break. But if each fall becomes part of your training, you will emerge sharper, stronger, and ready for any battle. Marcus Aurelius described it perfectly. A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it. Every hardship can be fuel. It's your choice whether it consumes you or makes you shine. So, how do you become anti-fragile? How do you turn every pain into power? Step 1. Reframe how you talk to yourself during adversity. Don't ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Ask, "How can I grow from this? What can this pain teach me?" Simply shifting the question puts you in control. Step 2. Train yourself before life does it for you. Those who wait for life to break them before they learn to be strong are already behind. Step outside your comfort zone. Seek challenge. Make discomfort your practice ground. The pain you embrace today becomes the strength you call upon tomorrow. And above all, stop looking for stability, safety, or refuge in anything. Stability is an illusion. Nothing in life stays the same. If you cling to what you have today, you'll suffer when change inevitably comes. But if you accept that uncertainty is part of the game, you'll move with it, rather than against it. You can't control what life throws your way, but you can control what you do with it, so the choice is yours. Will you shatter like glass or grow like fire? And when you're ready to go even deeper, there's another step. Break free from the invisible box that's been limiting you. Once you begin to step outside your limiting beliefs, you unlock a new world. But to truly explore it, you need one inner force few people master: silence. Let me ask you, can you sit in complete silence for 5 minutes? No talking, no checking your phone, no background music. Just you and your thoughts. Sounds easy, right? But try it now. Truly try it and see what happens. The truth is, silence makes most people uncomfortable. It forces us to face what's really going on in our minds, so we avoid it. We fill our lives with distractions, meaningless conversations, social media scrolling, news that adds no value, all to avoid being alone with ourselves. But here's the secret. Real power lies within silence. Outer noise reflects inner chaos. We live in a world that worships noise. If you're not posting, commenting, reacting, are you even alive? Yet the person who talks constantly rarely says anything meaningful. And the wisest people? They observe. They listen. They think before they speak. The Stoics knew this. They taught that wisdom comes not from endless words, but from thoughtful silence. As Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak." When you begin to value silence, something changes. First, you notice just how much noise exists in the world and in your mind. Second, you stop reacting impulsively. And that is where the magic begins. Because most problems don't come from what happens, they come from how we react to it. Think about that person who always reacts loudly, emotionally, instantly. What happens when a real crisis hits them? They get lost in their own noise. They can't find clarity because they never learn to pause. The Stoics taught a mind full of noise has no space for clarity. In crisis, the power lies not in more words or more action, but in stillness. In those moments when life is spinning out of control, what matters most is not what you say, but your ability to stay quiet, reflect, and find the clear path forward. Psychologist Rollo May said, "In silence, we find the answers to questions we didn't even know we had." Silence isn't emptiness. Silence is space. A space to think, process, and choose rather than react. And the best part? This power is already inside you. You don't need to learn it. You just need to let it be. So how do you tap into silence in this loud world? Begin with conscious pauses. Before reacting to anger, breathe. Before making a decision, observe. Sometimes the best response is no response. Find silent moments each day. You don't need hours of meditation, just minutes without noise or distraction. Because it's in silence that great ideas are born. It's in silence that solutions reveal themselves. And above all, learn to be at ease with silence. If you can't be still with yourself, maybe you're avoiding something within. Next time chaos strikes or life traps you in a whirlwind, don't react right away. Pause. Stay silent, just for a moment, because in that moment, you'll discover a powerful truth. Silence is not absence. Silence is presence. And once you own that presence, you're ready to build the next level. A mind that is unshakable, no matter what comes. When you learn to be still and silent, you unlock your true presence. But now comes an even deeper truth. Life is not meant to be easy, and it's better that way. We've been programmed to seek the easiest path. We want rewards without effort, success without failure, love without conflict. But you and I both know life doesn't work like that. And the sooner you accept it, the sooner you free yourself. This isn't a modern insight. The Stoics understood it long ago. Epictetus said, "Do not seek for things to happen as you wish, but wish for them to happen as they do, and your life will flow." Because expecting ease is a perfect recipe for disappointment. Every time reality doesn't match your hopes, you'll feel let down. Here's the truth. Life owes you nothing, and yet it offers you everything if you're willing to face it. Think of Viktor Frankl, the psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor. He lost everything, his
family, his work, his freedom.
But he held on to one thing, his attitude. In the midst of horror, he discovered a truth that would change millions of lives. When we can no longer change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. Frankl couldn't control his circumstances, but he could control how he responded. That was his greatest power. Now imagine walking a mountain trail. At first, the path is smooth, but the farther you go, the steeper it gets. The air thins. The stones cut your feet. Some people stop. They wait, hoping the trail gets easier. But eventually, they give up. Others keep climbing, despite trembling legs and burning lungs. They're the ones who reach the summit and see a view the quitters never will. Life is the same. The road won't always be flat. Struggles don't mean you're broken, they're just part of the path. Let's make it real. You spend months preparing
for a career opportunity. You work harder than ever, but in the end you don't get it.
Someone else performed better. Your dream slips away. If you believed life should have been easier, this will break you. But if you accept hardship as normal, you'll grow, you'll learn, you'll adjust, you'll try again. And next time, when the opportunity arises, you'll be ready, stronger, wiser, better. So how do you stop expecting ease and start building mental strength? 1. Accept difficulty as part of growth. Don't resist it. Discomfort is not the enemy, it's your training partner. Just like lifting weights, resistance builds strength. Life works the same way. Train your mind to seek solutions, not excuses. Some people say, "Why me?" Others say, "What now?" Guess who moves forward? 3. Face challenges head on. When something feels hard, don't delay, don't escape, breathe and act. Clarity comes through movement. The Stoics never told us to wait for life to get easier, because it won't. But if you get stronger, more adaptable and more determined, you'll find a way, no matter how steep the climb. And with that strength in mind, it's time to face another lesson. Stop searching for shortcuts. Once you stop expecting life to be easy, you begin to see the next trap that keeps most people stuck: the search for shortcuts. You're not stuck because you're incapable. You're stuck because you keep avoiding challenges, always looking for a quicker route, an easier fix, a cheat code that lets you skip the hard part. But let me ask you, when has anything truly meaningful ever come without effort? There are no shortcuts to real success, not in business, not in love, not in mental strength. Anything you try to rush today will cost you later. And this isn't just motivational talk. Science backs it up. Psychologist Angela Duckworth, in her groundbreaking research on grit, discovered that success depends not on talent, but on perseverance through difficulty. People with higher resilience outperformed even the most naturally gifted. Why? Because they don't look for shortcuts. They stay, they learn, they keep going when others quit. Seneca said it thousands of years ago. We do not dare to undertake many things because they are difficult, but they are difficult because we do not dare to undertake them. There it is, the key. The path isn't too hard. Most people simply quit before they even begin. Picture a tree growing in a storm. The wind batters it. The rain hammers it. But its roots dig deeper. It becomes stronger. Meanwhile, the fragile weeds that grew quickly and easily, they're ripped from the ground. At the first gust of wind, you might think, what's wrong with making things easier? Nothing, until you start confusing easy with effective. Think about when you tried to learn a new language, but gave up because fluency didn't come instantly. Or when you tried to get fit, but believed the false promises of six-pack abs in a week. Each time you chose the shortcut, you robbed yourself of the real reward, growth. True strength never comes from what's easy. It comes from staying the course when it's hard. So, how do you avoid the shortcut trap? Realize that difficulty isn't the problem, it's the solution. If something challenges you, it's shaping you. Resistance builds strength. Every hard task is training. 8. Do what's uncomfortable now, so life is easier later. Train your mind and body. Endure when others quit. That's the only shortcut that actually works. Take ownership of your path. Stop waiting for someone else to make life easier. No one's coming. It's up to you. Next time you're tempted by the easy way out, stop and ask, does this make me better or just save me effort? The easy path will never give you what you truly want. Only the hard path will. And now, when you're ready to face life with full power, let's unlock the final key the Stoics taught us: radical responsibility. When you stop chasing shortcuts and begin to take full ownership of your life, you arrive at the point of no return. That moment when growth becomes non-negotiable. That moment when there are no more excuses. Only one question remains: what will you do with that power? Will you keep waiting for life to change? Or will you start changing yourself? This is the turning point. The moment you accept that everything in your life, what happens to you, what you build, what you learn, is within your control. As Epictetus said, it's not things that disturb us, but our opinion of them. That's radical responsibility, not just a feel-good concept. It's the key to unlocking your life. No shortcuts, no excuses, only action. So now, will you embrace responsibility and take control, or will you keep hoping someone else will? Do it for you? The choice is yours. And remember this, my friend, true strength doesn't come from avoiding obstacles, but from facing them with courage and persistence. If you truly want to transform your life, don't stay where it's comfortable. Take that first step. Embrace what's hard. Turn every challenge into fuel for growth. The road ahead won't be easy, but I promise you, it will be the most rewarding path you've ever walked. Never forget what the Stoics taught us. What happens around you is inevitable, but what you choose to do with it is entirely your own. If you've made it this far, type in the comments, "Each obstacle makes me stronger." That's how I'll know who the true Stoic warriors are, the ones who reached the end. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and like this video so you don't miss what's coming next. And I invite you to check out the playlist on your screen. It's packed with powerful ideas, stories, and insights to help you walk through life with greater wisdom and strength. Click it. Let's keep growing together.